Alright, Shalom family. Welcome to another edition of our new channel, Sisters of the Maccabees. This is your brother Priest Daniela, and I'm sitting here with two of my very good sisters. Sister to my right, please introduce yourself.
Shamakah Preston.
Alright, and sister to my left, please introduce yourself.
Malakah Benjamin.
Alright, Shalom sisters. Well, today we're just gonna, go over two quick topics. Basically this title is gonna be of this video is going to be called Conversation with Israelite Sisters. Alright, so let's get right into it and start with question number one. I kind of made reference to it in a video in the past, and I want you sisters to elaborate on it a little more. There is now a natural hair movement that is sweeping our community, which I think is a wonderful and beautiful thing. But one of the things that I'm noticing, and I'm not speaking about Israelite men, just in general, I'm noticing that a lot of sisters with natural hair are dating white men. I find it to be one of the strangest things, and I can't, for the life of me, understand it. So, Sister Shamakah, I want to start with you. Why is it that we see so many natural sisters dating white men?
Well, I think that issues twofold, maybe three or four, but I think one of the reasons is that white men tend to accept black women in her natural state. Like, they don't require that she straightens it or that she alters it in any way. As a matter of fact, for most of them, the kinkier the better. And I think for a lot of black women, they feel embraced and accepted for their hair because for the most part, we're criticized for it. It's too nappy, it's too kinky, it doesn't look this way, it doesn't look that way. And mainly from our own people, from our parents, from our brothers, our sisters, our classmates, the whole nine. I mean, I have a daughter, she's 19 now, but she's never had, her hair has never been processed. And I recall when she was in school, in grade school, when she had her natural hair out, that she would tell me that her friends would tease her. Right? So, here are your teased when you're young, and you have to go through, puberty and adulthood, never ever being told that you're beautiful the way you are. And then here comes the white man that's like, oh my gosh, your skin is so beautiful. Is that your hair? Oh, I love it. And I think for a lot of black women, they feel accepted from the other nations. Because it's not just the white man, it's the Chinese man. Even when you go into their stores and their establishments, when you're natural, they don't know what to do with you. They're looking like, what is she in here for? What is she going to buy? Well, maybe I want to pick up a conditioner, or maybe I want to pick up, a conditioning cap, or, there's things that I can buy in here. So I think it's, there's a lot of different issues that play a part in that. What do you think, sister?
I think you're right. A part of it is that most of our sisters with natural hair are rejected by our own brothers. Brothers that are not in the truth, brothers out there in the world. I remember when I first went natural years ago, I couldn't get a brother to look at me, Unfortunately, a lot of our sisters are rejected by brothers. Brothers just want to see the straight hair because that's what they grow up seeing. Mommy had straight hair, either, perm, wig, weave, auntie, sister, every female in their family had this straight hair trying to look like somebody else. So our black men really, for the most part, they're not accepting of our of our hair. I'm talking about our black men who are not somewhat aware or conscious, you know what I mean? So when you have somebody who see a sister with the natural hair, somebody from the other nation, a white man or a Chinese man, and they're all goo goo gaga for the natural hair, our women love that because they want to be told that they're beautiful, that they have something pretty and natural. So personally, I think that's what it is. And some of our sisters just, they just love the white man. That's it.
So let me ask you, sisters, a question. Or you going to say something, Sister Shamakah? Go ahead.
I was just saying, yeah, they love the white man, but it also seems like the white man ain't putting up with this foolishness that we do with our hair. They're not going for these blonde, red, rainbow, green, purple, and they're not putting up with that foolishness. They're like, come on. They're like, really?
And
that's embarrassing. To them, they're embarrassed by it. But we should be embarrassed by it, to be honest. That's clown makeup. Look, and I'm not against makeup because, I can do the thing, but that's a whole other topic. But at some point, come on. Green, purple hair.
Yeah.
It's foolishness.
And here's what I think, right? When a white man decides to go with a black woman, obviously he knows what his woman look like. He knows what Becky looked like, right? She had straight hair and whatever. So there's something about a black woman in her natural state that he's interested in.
Do you think it's a sincere interest, or do you think it's kind of like a...
No, it's not. No, it's not.
It's more of a curiosity, maybe?
It's a curiosity, yeah.
It's a fetish, like a pet.
A lot of them don't even know what our natural hair feel like. They're curious. They want to put their hands in there and feel it and touch it and whatever. It's all about just them being curious,
So let me ask you, sisters, a question. I'll start with you, Sister Shamakah, and then I'll come to you, Sister Malakah. I want you to talk about what you observe as sisters that wear natural hair. What do you observe the difference is when you see the way that men approach women that have the long, silky Hawaiian weaves in? What type of reaction do those women get from our men as opposed to the reaction that natural-haired sisters get from our men? Speak about that difference. And when I say our men, as we've been emphasizing, we're talking about in general, not Israelites particularly.
Well, I can speak on both ends because I've been on both sides of the fence, coming from a period in my life where you would never ever see me in my natural state. I was weaved from the time, and this is before weaves became popular. Like, only you had to have money in order to have one. Like, there was no, everybody in the hood got a weave. There was none of that. It was few people that had money or whose husbands or boyfriends get paid for them to get their hair done had the weaves. So I always felt like I had to have it in order to feel beautiful. And then once you've known for having, because people didn't know if it was my hair or not. I could hear women, oh my gosh, her hair is so beautiful, it's so pretty, look how long it is. But it wasn't mine, right? And even then, the texture of the weave was different. We didn't have the plastic shiny weave like they have now. Our weave was like, is it her hair? It was thick, it was coarse. Yeah. It looked like maybe we had to take a straightening comb to it. It was a whole different ball game. And that the other one was the.
But how did our men respond to that type of hair?
Oh, they loved it. That was the But then back then we're talking in the video era, like in the 90s, where like videos with African Americans, so-called, were more popular, and you see certain kind of women. You know what I mean? It was always like the Mexican women in the videos, but that's a whole other thing. But if you were a black woman, you had to have the long weave. And the high heels and the little dresses and everything. So we always had a certain way that we had to be for me being a darker woman, in order for the men to be attracted to us. So natural hair was never ever even a consideration, even back then. Maybe in my mother's generation in the 70s and 60s, but once we hit the 80s, though, them afros, that was a done deal. We weren't into that. We really didn't know. Even to the point when I was little, I remember seeing a young woman. She had extensions in her hair. They were braids, but back then, we thought it was her hair. Long, beautiful braids. And I remember saying, oh, it's so pretty. Look, but I thought it was her hair in actual braids. So that's how unaware we were of all the stuff that they do now. Like, it's commonplace now. You have 6 years old weaving in hair and 8, 9. We didn't. As a little girl, you had your natural hair and barrettes and hair beads and things. But I'm just saying. But part of that is the different responses between the two. Yeah. So, like, I come from an era when no one knew to an era when everybody knows.
Because it's no purple and pink and blue and
Well, everybody
orange.
knows, and it's become where it was believable, passable, to ridiculous.
Yeah. Well said.
Idiotic. It's just like, who you fooling?
Well
You
said.
have no edges, right? It's slicked back, 2 different textures, weird colors, and the sun hits it, and it looks like it's shining for like somebody took some baby oil, and this is glossy. It's just disgusting. I'm sorry.
Sister.
I'm sorry. I mean, I know that might.
It is.
And this is coming from someone who wore weaves religiously
It's got out
every
of
day.
control.
Like I would never walk out without having my hair done.
Sister Shamakah, if I may say, tough love is still love.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have to talk to our people and be honest with them. And yeah, someone might be going through something right now where this is something that they still do. And I don't think you sisters are sitting there trying to insult anybody. We're just trying to have a conversation to understand the psychology or the psychosis that our people are in and how we could break it. And every single sister, just as you mentioned yourself, and Sister Malakah mentioned also, every single sister goes through that phase. And you sisters have been there, and you are sharing your experience that might help somebody within the sounds of your voice. So I'm going to go to you, Sister Malakah, and I'm going to ask you the same question. From what you observe, what is the difference in reaction that women that wear those particular types of weaves get as opposed to sisters that are more natural?
I can tell you from personal experience. This is the second time I've actually gone back to my natural state with my hair. Years ago, I believe I was about 20 years old, I attempted to go natural. I had my hair natural, and it was in like a short afro. And I was, I was out there in the world. I was dating this guy, and I usually have my hair in weaves. I mean, not weaves. Braids.
Yeah.
So when I finally took it out, and I had my, I felt so nice with my afro.
Yeah.
And I remember him giving me the name, the address, and the money for the
To get it back
salon to get my hair permed. Yeah. And as silly as I was, I went and I got it permed because I'm like, well, you didn't like it, so, I remember wearing wigs and the attention that I got. I remember wearing a lot of wigs. I used to buy a lot of wigs, and I used to get so much attention from brothers wearing all these wigs. All these shapes and
colors and
textures. Well, I always stick to black. But it's just the shape and the texture and the wavy and the straight and whatever. But it's all the same reaction because the brothers, and I don't think brothers care that the wigs are it's not our hair. I don't think they care. They just want to see that straight, long look on a sister because somehow they just cannot accept our natural texture hair.
Right.
I used to get so much attention from brothers with these wigs and weaves. And the moment I decide to walk outside with my afro, I'm lucky if I get one guy to look at me. But see, I had to.
What the other nation? What do? They smile.
Yeah. You know what? I'll tell you what. To be quite honest with you, I've had way more Esau. I've had way more white dude hit on me with my natural hair than black men.
That's sad. That's sad.
That is sad.
I wonder if it's because, because Esau, they study us. And maybe, I'm just saying maybe, I don't have to agree per se. I'm saying maybe because Esau knows a lot of black men don't go for uneducated, unenlightened black men don't go for sisters with natural hair. They know a lot of our sisters are looking for that attention, and it kind of makes it easier for them to hit on sisters, and sisters fall for it because their own men are not giving them the attention that they may need. So that's just something that I'm thinking. I don't know if y'all would agree or disagree with that, but Esau kind of knows our sisters are vulnerable to begin with, and they're not getting the attention. So here he comes, like Prince Charming on a horse, to give sisters attention that they're not getting from their own men.
That could be true.
And I think maybe Esau, sometimes I think they see straight weaves and wigs on black women, they just realize that that's not natural. Because they know what our natural hair look like. And when they see something that look like their woman on our hair, they don't see, because they want us in our natural state. It's just as Shamakah said earlier, when they see that fake wig and weave, they don't like it. I've heard white boys say that. They just don't like that fake wig looking thing on a black woman.
Mm-hmm.
The other part of it is too, as a white man, if you approach a white woman in her natural state, it's already telling you certain things about her. Number one, she's aware. When you wear your natural hair, you are aware. Right. You are consciously making a decision not to do what everybody else does.
Right.
And Esau, contrary to what people believe, he likes that because she's more liable to do fruit smoothies and juices and be more earthy and be more grounded because Esau, even though with all of the craziness and the chemicals and stuff, they like that.
Right.
Esau will be the first one to get up and jog and run and takes herbs and takes smoothies and they're into that. Our people, on the other hand, we're more superficial. We're worried about what it looks like, not what it is. And a lot of times, I think white men, a lot of times they'll look and they say, okay, she's aware. She's natural. She's in her natural state. I wonder what else she's aware of. I wonder how she eats. I wonder how she lives. I wonder how she thinks. Exactly. I wonder if she has an actual opinion that's not superficial. Oh, I got red bottoms. Right. I got this fancy clothes. You know what I mean? Like, as a man, when you see that,
finances and stuff like that, you know.
When you see a woman with all that fake stuff, you already know what you're in for. You're in for money. You're in for commercial and I mean, it's not the same for everyone.
Here's the other thing too, right? When you watch a movie or just black women on TV in general, in movies, all you see is the fake hair Eve acting ratchet and ghetto, right? So that plays also in Esau's mind. Sometimes when they see a regular black chick walking down the street with the long weave, they don't want that because to them that's just the ghetto chick on TV.
Right.
So they go for the other look,
which is self-aware.
Right.
Not self-absorbed, not materialistic, not into, because usually if you see a woman in her natural state, she's dressed more not more humbly, but more
modestly.
Yeah. And believe it or not, Jeremiah, I need you to back up, please. That's more appealing. But for our brothers, they're not attracted to that. Not all of them, but a lot of brothers aren't attracted to that.
But you know what's funny? Even here in this country, because my husband talked to me about that. I remember, it's probably still the same way, maybe not as much. Back in the days when a black woman go natural, you're either two things, militant or you're a so-called Christian. And regular dudes would not talk to you. Am I right, hun?
I was going to say that in a moment of transparency, I've had this conversation with my wife. I was raised in this country, even though my family's from the West Indies. I was raised in this country. And I remember seeing some of the young ladies. My mother was big time into church when I was younger. And I remember seeing some of these sisters, those sisters that were like in their late 20s, early 30s that was just coming to America from Jamaica. And I would see them wearing their natural hair. And I used to always say to myself at 12 years old, 11 years old, yo, why doesn't she do her hair? That was the mentality.
Laugh at us.
Yeah, that was the mentality I had. Like seeing a sister with her natural hair, I said to myself, why don't she do her hair? Like, why is she walking around like that? Because I was used to seeing black women with perms in their hair, or wearing the weaves. You know what I'm saying? In the 90s, that's what I was used to. Even my own mother, who was West Indian, when I was younger, my mother wore her natural hair. I have the pictures, but I remember as I got a little older, my mother did the Jerry curl thing. Like she processed her hair. She just didn't wear her hair natural. So I fell victim to that as well. I think it's a whole conditioning thing that this country, conditions us from very young. Because at 12 years old, I didn't know better. I just knew what I grew up seeing. And here come these people, from the islands that, have a different culture, different way of life. They're a little bit more natural and earthy, as Sister Shamakah said. But to me, it was like they just didn't do their hair. And I didn't like it at that age. You see, so it was just really, really, it's really, really amazing to see that some of our people now still have that same mentality, but it's sad. We're not talking about a 12 or 11-year-old child. We're talking about grown men in their 20s and their 30s and their 40s that cannot stand the sight of or will not be interested in a sister that's being herself. It's really sad. So I want you sisters, if y'all have anything final to say on that, then we're going to go on to the next topic. Do you guys have anything else you want to add on to that real quick? All right. Well, again, I'll just say that, hopefully the sisters that are watching this video understand the spirit in which you sisters are talking, and we're not talking from a spirit of being judgmental. We're just talking to our people, and that's what this is all about. And I encourage you sisters to comment on the comment boards and make your voice be heard and talk to us, and maybe another time in the future we can get into this a little bit more. Go ahead, Sister Shamakah.
I want to say, I'm not opposed to wigs or weaves. They may have their place in your hair care regimen depending upon what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish. I just don't think that we as women should be dependent on those. Like, we're not comfortable in our own skin to walk out and be us. Like, we have to hide. Like, a lot of women hide behind these things. There's such things as protective styling and different reasonings why people do the things they do. I just think when you see that these things are damaging your hair, you have to let them go.
Hey,
hold on you.
Sister Shamakah, you said something, I'm sorry, but you said something earlier before we had this conversation that I want you to touch on again, even though I noticed this topic is taking a little longer than we expected, but it's important. You said something really, really powerful, so I'm going to ask you to repeat it for the camera, and I'm going to ask Sister Malakah to also chime in. You spoke about the fact that healthy hair is more important than hair length, and I thought that was really powerful. As a man, you don't think about these things. But, speak a little bit about that, what you said before, because I thought that was really, really powerful the way you broke that down.
As a man, I'm not a man, but men do think about these things because men have an obsession with length, which is one of the issues that we have as being, women that the Bible speaks of, that we're under those curses that, hair loss, baldness, instead of well-set hair, baldness. I was showing the sister videos the other day of women with luxury, very long hair, the hair that just broke for no reason, gone. I mean, long hair, no hair, right? So those curses are real. And for a lot of us, we get obsessed with length. We want to know how to make it grow, how to, everything to make it grow, but not about the state of the hair and like what you eat, what you drink, how, if you work out, if you move your body, those things all contribute to the hair being able to grow. So I think that healthy hair is better than long hair. I don't want stringy. I went through that. I had perm, stringy, straight hair. I'm like, this is crap. I don't want this. You can see right through it. What good is the length if it's not healthy? So, that is a factor. Men, like my husband said, men are naturally drawn to hair on a woman. And I think the reason why a lot of our women are ashamed to be natural is because we don't start out with long hair. Some of us start out with 3 inches and all we ever get is 4 or 5. We may not ever have that long hair. Will we still be considered beautiful and accepted if we only have 3 inches of hair on our head? What do you think, sister?
Here's what I think. Number one, I think that the curse on our head is our ability to take care of the hair. We don't have the ability to take care of our hair. I think that's the curse. Look around. The black women are not taking care of their hair because we don't know how to. Now some of us are waking up and learning, right? I think the curse is us not knowing how to care for it, because we've seen results with black women caring for their hair and the hair is growing. I'm one of those people. The woman that you see walk around with the wigs and the weaves, they take that off. When you talk about the health of the hair is more important than length. These women and we all were at one point just obsessed with length, that we are we're willing to sacrifice our own hair, right? Just so we can walk around with something else in our head. And when we take it off, when we go home, take it off, half of our hair is gone. We're bald, we have bald spot, we have no edges, no back of our head is bald. Our hair is just messed up. And we just continue the cycle of we don't care. We just throw something on to hide all of that, right? And just walk around with the weave, but if you go home and take it off and you don't even like what you see in the mirror, because again, she's looking in the mirror and she don't even know what to do with what that thing that's on her head, her thing that's on her head, you know, the real thing. Don't know what to do with it. I think that's the curse.
That's definitely part of it.
The lack of knowledge
It's part of it because
of knowing how to care for the hair.
that's part of it.
That's definitely part of it. Well, I want to thank y'all sisters for that.